Save yourself. Such excellent advice, Mr. Holmes, and yet how rare the man who is able to do so.
How rare indeed. A pleasure, Professor, though not a surprise to see you here. I've been meaning to compliment you. I've been reading your Dynamics of an Asteroid, and I found your conclusions to be rather, astonishing.
No, elementary, my dear Sherlock.
I was particularly struck on your thesis of the obliquity of an elliptic.
It is at present an incomplete hypothesis.
Well, perhaps you'll have time to finish it in jail.
Oh, no, I'm afraid not. By the way, that's a dangerous habit.
What's that?
Oh, it's a dangerous habit to finger a loaded firearm in the pocket of your trousers.
Dangerous as well to keep a free hand behind one back.
You think you can read me like a book?
No, sir. Like a primer. There we are.
Now, to be clear, Mr. Holmes, I shall never be captured.
Not only shall you be captured, but I shall be the star witness to testify against you.
You are humorously misinformed.
Though I do realize what awkward position that's going to put you in.
And pray tell, what awkward position is that?
A position usually reserved for the lowest of criminals, at the lower end of a rope.
Yes, that's why I don't wear neckties.
Yes, me too.
Well, are you not even curious as to why I'm even here?
Why are you here, sir?
Well, I am here for one simple reason. The lady of the house. As you are undoubtedly aware, our dear Irene once belonged to the King of Bohemia. And then Mr. Norton, or Larrabee, if you prefer.
This woman is an artist, sir. And as such, she belongs to no one man. She belongs to the whole of Europe, to everyone.
I suppose, in your own words, that would mean she now belongs to me.
I would not do that, Professor. My dear, I wish to spare our guest some unnecessary exertion. Do you mind checking his left coat pocket, please?
I was reaching for my notebook, nothing more.
I have a hard time believing that. Go on, dear. He's really sort of mousy in person.
Oh, it's much better than a rat.
There we are.
Is this the item he's looking for?
Now, place it on the table, please. Ah! Close. Back up. Now, maybe you want to put it on my side of the table, dear. There we go. Shall we see if he has another?
He's informed us that he does not.
Really? When did he do that?
When he reached for that one, of course.
Precisely. Now, is there any more good this woman can do you, sir?
Let me see. Ah, yes, here we are. Oh dear. You have a great deal to answer for, Mr. Holmes. You first crossed my path on the 4th of January, and on the same month, on the 23rd, you incommoded me, and where are we? Here it is. At the close of April, oh my. Sir, in the past few days, you have tricked, betrayed, and placed me in a position of continual persecution. You understand, of course, the cumulative effect is the imminent loss of my personal liberty.
You keep a notebook on me?
It's an unfortunate habit.
Well, flattered, actually. But that's not the point. The point, sir, is that I imagine there's some conclusion between us.
Well, the only conclusion I can think of is very simple. Inevitable destruction.
Yes. By which you mean the destruction of yourself.
Mr. Holmes, you will not live to see that day.
Then may I live to see no answer. For if I could be assured of my destruction, I would gladly take you down with me.
Mr. Holmes, I do believe I can arrange that.
Mr. Holmes!
The devil!
Oh, I was admiring the gun and the broken. Sorry.
Really?
Yes.
It's nothing.
Nothing at all. No fire to be found.
so unfortunately, it would appear I have to provide you with a tiny bit of incentive for the matter.
Serves her right.
Royalty, please. Professor,
Yes.
there's no need for this. She's already told me where the photograph is.
Is that true?
Impossible.
She never said a word.
She didn't have to. And yet, I already know. Oh, photograph. That's it. Yes, it is. And now, the king may marry whoever he wishes without any further scandal, and this can come to an end.
What shall come to an end, Mr. Holmes, is you.
Now for that clever one, Captain!
No, not just yet.
Lift your hands in the air! Where'd you get this one?
The nut house.
Very well. And the other one. The right hand. You heard me! Get your right hand up there, too! As you wish. Ooh, butter me britches! Go right outside! Yes, they are!
Mr. Holmes, you may leave, but you will not be taking that photograph.
I have no intention of taking this photograph, Professor. The author, rather the owner, is right here.
He's giving it back to her?
You cannot be serious!
Mr. Holmes?
Go now, yeah? You have nothing to fear. Please, it's okay, my lord.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you just utter the phrase, my love?
Slip of the tongue.
I don't believe in them. You truly astonish me, Mr. Holmes. For you see, I was under the obviously inaccurate belief that you were in love with that girl. Why then would you entreat her to leave the one place in London where she is safe? What are you three looking at? Go up the back and grab her! That way, you moron! It's difficult finding good help. You understand?
Oh yes, I have this doctor who, every time I give him a plan, I try to... Yes, that's not important.
I sat with your dear Irene earlier this day, Mr. Holmes.
Did you now?
Sat with her on her bed, and as I wiped a tear from her cheek, she spoke of you. Oh, if only I had not deceived Mr. Holmes. Perhaps he would then come to my aid and rescue me.
Don't you see, Professor? That's precisely what I have done.
What you have done, Mr. Holmes, is sent the woman that you love to her certain death.
Here's what I deduce from that. If there are millions and millions of stars up there, and if even just a few of those stars have planets, it's quite possible that one of those planets is like Earth, and there might be life.
Watson, you idiot! It means someone has stolen our tent.
You know what, you're right.
I have another one.
Okay.
What kind of murderer has moral fiber?
What kind of murderer has moral fiber?
A serial killer!
Oh, my turn. One day, Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes were doing their usual investigative business when
Watson, the tea.
Yes?
Weak.
I'm sorry.
Dear heavens, what is this?
Fruit.
That is not food. Oh.
Sorry.
I'm really starting to miss Miss Hudson. Her stately stride, her good cooking.
I remind you that for her own safety, you send Miss Hudson away.
Yes, but you try better than this. I don't think I could bear another meal like it.
We shall dine this evening in the continent. You retrieve the photograph, freed Miss Adler, and we can get you safely out of London.
Pardon me, gentlemen. I wonder if I might be allowed to make ever so slight an interjection.
Certainly.
Is it about dinner?
You gave it back to her!
Yes, precisely.
Oh, man! Hanging, snaking, fucking shit.
Hey, don't use that language in my house. I received a telegram, Watson, from Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard.
Have they begun the arrest?
They will presently.
Just as you had planned.
Well, not actually. You see, they no longer have the witnesses they need to convict Moriarty.
Impossible. Just one day ago, they had all the witnesses they needed lined up.
And they remain lined up in the city wall. A vial of poison here, a bullet to the brain there, and a deep, dark river.
That's hideous.
And genius as well. You see, in order to catch Moriarty, we must now go to a crime in which he is presently involved.
But the only reason he would involve himself in that way would be to encounter you.
Precisely.
You can't do it, Holmes.
We are fortunate in this regard.
You can't walk right into his trap.
Moriarty now knows about my business with the king. So, your highness, we shall press on.
What did you say?
I took it upon myself this morning to intercept your mail.
You did what?
I broke into your mail. That's not important. What is important is that this first letter is from Miss Adler. She has, in the irrational manner of women, chosen to forgive you entirely.
I am to appoint Sherlock Holmes as my proxy, and he is to fill a balance with £5,000 cash, and send me to carriage with wooden shutters, we shall take him alone directly to Miss Adler.
Yes, whereupon, for the exchange of the money, I shall get your photograph back.
Such is the best of both worlds.
No! It's a fake!
What?
Yes! This shall explain things.
This letter is from Moriarty. He claims,
What is it?
he claims that Irene is dead.
Oh my goodness.